Today's rich kid going skint is 18-year-old Kofi, son of multi-millionaire parents who takes luxury living to another level.
Growing up, my life was good. I got to travel a lot with my family. We'd go to the best places for dinner. My parents bought me everything I really wanted. So I definitely now expect the finer things in life.
Having rich parents who pay for everything has allowed Kofi to indulge his one big passion in life.
I'm definitely a self-confessed shopaholic. It's something I do every day and something I love doing. I can't live without shopping.
Kofi splits his time between his parents' country mansion in Sheffield and high-end shopping sprees in London.
You know, you can't beat Bond Street. There's really nowhere better.
And when he's in the capital, this rich kid spends weeks on end hopping from one five-star hotel to another.
Whenever I'm here, I tend to stay in the Dorchester, the Ritz, Shangri-La. When I go shopping, I don't really have a budget or look at the price of things, but I'd probably say I'd spend maybe 4 or 5 figures, or I just fall in love with a piece of clothing or an accessory and I end up with it in my wardrobe. This one is my silk shirt from Dolce & Gabbana. It costs around £700. Diesel jacket costs around £600. For every day, I just wear Gucci.
Splashing your parents' cash around designer boutiques can really take it out of you. So this champagne-loving rich kid makes sure he always pencils in some downtime to keep up appearances. When rich kids go skint.
This is where we spend most of our time as a family.
Okay.
Size-wise, is this something you used to, or something bigger?
I have a living room and then kind of another living room and then a dining room.
All right, no need to rub it in.
Okay, fair enough. This is the kitchen. I normally do majority of the chores in here. Have you ever done any chores?
I've not really done chores, but I've washed the dish before.
Okay.
But I do have sensitive skin.
This is the girls' bedroom. Obviously, you've got 2 bunk beds for the 2 older ones, and you've got the baby's bed there.
Yeah, I have a brother and sister.
Okay.
But yeah, I've never shared a room with them.
Never shared a room at all?
No.
Never.
No need for bunk beds in his parents' house.
Okay, so this is mine and Paul's bedroom.
Okay.
We've got our own little...
Our own little walk-in wardrobe.
No sign so far of any spare bed for Kofi, though.
As we're quite limited with space and everything else, unfortunately, you'll probably have the sofa tonight.
Have you ever slept on a sofa before?
No, I've never slept on the sofa before.
So it's all new to you?
Yeah.
House tour over, how's the rich kid settling into his new home for the next few days?
It's not really my style. Paul listed a few chores which I was unfamiliar with, so I'm apprehensive about having to partake in those. Yeah, home does feel very far away.
With 3 growing kids to support, Nikki and Paul have very little left in the pot at the end of every month. So, as they get to know their new house guest, hearing about his privileged life leaves them almost lost for words.
What are your bills that you have to pay yourself?
I don't pay for any bills.
No bills at all?
No bills at all.
Wow. Everything's paid by Dad and Mum. And...
Yeah. Some bills I hadn't even heard of before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like an energy bill.
And energy bill, so it's
gas and electric.
electrics.
Okay.
Electric for the house and...
Gas for cooking and hot
gas
water.
Okay.
I mean, do you have a budget that you stick to?
I don't have a budget, but every day I just kind of do whatever I want to do, kind of.
So what's your average weekly spend on food?
On average, at dinner, I'd probably spend £250 maybe.
Just on
meal?
dinner?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So basically what you spend for your one meal is what we spend a month for
On
our
shopping
shopping. If you go shopping, what's your average you'd spend?
A day, probably £700, £800.
A day?
A day? And
Yeah,
how
every
often do you
time
go shopping?
You go shopping every day?
Most days.
So roughly a day, you'd
A
probably
day
say
on food.
£1,000 a day.
Yeah.
£7 grand a
£7
week.
grand a
We'd be
week.
completely out of debt.
In one week. In 1 week.
1 week.
Kofi's extravagant spending sprees are a far cry from Nikki and Paul's hand-to-mouth existence.
At the end of the month, after we paid all of our bills, we're roughly left with about
200?
£200 to see us through the rest
For the
of the
month?
For the month.
For the month.
Okay.
And that's after we've done rent, gas, electric, shopping, kids' uniforms.
Yeah.
Just try and budget it up so we can make it last a little bit longer to make sure the kids have got food.
So you have to plan like the whole month?
You have to plan
Plan a
literally
whole
everything we can.
Kofi may be cocooned in a life of luxury back home, but to fit into this family, Nikki and Paul reckon he needs a taste of what life is like for those living on the breadline.
I'm going to challenge him. Give him a little bit of a challenge.
Okay, so you can challenge him on the house like I challenge him in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Would you like the crust or no?
Yeah, no, they leave the crust on.
They'd put him straight to task making sandwiches for a picnic lunch. Doing things on a tight budget is a first for Kofi.
Just try and use a little less butter.
Okay.
That tub's lasted us about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
If the rich kid thought he was here to sit back and relax, he's sadly mistaken.
I'm actually working up a sweat.
I have to make the kids their packed lunches in the mornings every day.
Yeah, actually really.
And then no sauce.
Lavish lunches in Knightsbridge or perhaps an afternoon tea at the Ritz are all in a day's work for this rich kid. But he's fast learning that when it comes to eating out, Paul and Nikki have to make do with far less splendid surroundings.
We've always had like little picnics in the park.
Yeah.
It's a nice like little treat. It's low cost.
Yeah.
Ham and cheese sandwiches may not be up to Kofi's high standards, but as a little treat for the family, he's brought along something from home that is.
So, macaroons.
Okay, so how much does this box of treats cost?
Maybe like 12, 13 pounds.
Okay.
£12.
For 6 macaroons.
So for £12, I could probably make about, I'd say 50 to 60, maybe more cupcakes.
Really?
For that. Yeah.
That is a lot of cupcakes.
That is a lot of cupcakes, and that's with topping as well.
Yeah, I mean, they do like gift boxes and box sets. They can cost like hundreds. I was surprised that she was shocked because it's not too expensive. Like, there's 6 macaroons. So, and they're only £2 each.
Still a lot when you're living on a tight budget.
I couldn't allow myself to spend £12 on them, but that is really good. That is really good.
He just obviously doesn't know the value of money at the moment.
His
I mean,
budget
He hasn't got one.
Well,
the
it's
thing.
about £1,000 a day.
Yeah. For the amount of money he spends a day, we probably don't even spend that on ourselves.
A year?
Roughly in about a year.
As a stay-at-home dad, much of Paul's time is taken up doing domestic chores around the house.
Do you do this more than once a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say at least 2, maybe 3 times a day.
Okay.
But while the rich kid's in residence, he's determined to make Kofi pull his weight and help out.
Have you like always done this? Like you've never had a dishwasher?
Never had a dishwasher. I call myself the dishwasher.
But this dishwasher seems to be struggling,
This is like tiring.
and he's only just started.
Are you working up a sweat?
Yeah, it's tiring. Ta-da!
Imagine doing that every day, 3 times a day.
Oh my god, I can't imagine. I really can't.
Well, he'd better start. No rest for the rich kid, who's been sent upstairs to experience another first.
I've never done bathroom cleaning before. This is not easy.
Perhaps ditching the designer gear would help.
This jacket was £700, so I should treat it with more dignity. I don't actually know who cleans the bathrooms in my house, but they are always clean, so.
Obviously, he's not used to doing chores and not used to doing things himself, so I wouldn't say he needs to man up. It's just like he just probably needs to help out around the house a lot more with his mum and dad, and I think that would give him a lot more satisfaction in himself.
I would feel like I'm being punished for some reason if I had to stay and do this all day. It's not fun. It's like being Cinderella, trapped in a castle, having to clean.
He's got all of the cleaning to get done before he can go to the ball. A bit of elbow grease wouldn't go amiss either.
It's like a workout. I feel like I've done an impeccable job. This looks like it's brand new, so I'm sure everyone will be very impressed.
The jury's still out on that one. He's certainly no domestic goddess, but being forced to get his hands dirty has been another important lesson for Kofi.
I think that's me finished.